guys, my name is Michael and welcome to a new GTK tutorial. Today we are going to move on with our GSimpleAction and we are going to learn something very interesting today. Until now you saw the three different actions and moreover the last one, the close one, where we put a dot instead of a sign. Check or check sign, or better said an information in front of the item which shows you that item it is an item which can be checked and unchecked. The same thing goes for the close, where we instead of that check sign we used a dot sign. Anyway, this is not the way how you work with this one, but it was a way to show you what happens if you pass a parameter. And of course this is moreover for things like radios. So in this video today we are going to create something very interesting. So let me remove I'm going to make some changes, but before we move I forgot to tell you something in the last video. When we were creating the close action with a type boolean, to make it work basically you need also the item which you created, like here the close, to set a target to it, like I did right here. I forgot to introduce you to that. So basically we had to call the gmenu item set action and target value. So the action, it is the close, of course, indeed, and the target value, it is the target value which you created. So in this case we created a new boolean which is set to true. So you really need to do that if you want to work like I did here. And now I'm going to show you how important is that. For this, like I said, I'm going to make some changes, and let me clean a little bit all these things from here. So I'm going to remove everything, and now the next thing, I'm going to create three callbacks: the new, open, close callback. The item new was activated, the item open was activated, and the item close as well. In the create actions we are going to make some changes as well, which means we create a new, open and close. Now let me remove these states and this one as well, we don't need them. New, open and close, these two also, and here we have new callback, open callback and close callback. Now let's see if everything works fine as expected, and it should work. Let me format it, let me compile it and run it. Okay, I have a problem, let me check. Open actually is used uninitialized. Where is the problem? Let's see. Yes, sorry guys. Open and close as well. Now it should work fine. Let me see. Yes, new, open and close. Close is not working because close has a different, was created different. So I'm going to remove. You see, these things works only if you have, if you provide a stateful, if you create a stateful new stateful action with the parameter. So I'm going to remove this part here, and let me compile it and run it again. And now everything works fine, which is indeed what we need. Now let us create a connection between those three actions, which means that you let your users to choose only one of them three. For this we need to create, of course, again a new action, which is I'm going to call it select action, because we need to give a name for it, and then select action new stateful action, new stateful it will be, and of course select G variant type, sorry, G variant type string this time, and still boolean, and a state. which we need. Now let us create that state. G variant state, it will be pointed to G variant new string, and the string which we are going to put it here, it will be the open, which means this is the target which we are going to set this time. Now because we have it, because we create, let me compile it and run it for a second. Yes, I need to add it to our map, sorry, I forget all the time. So select action, it should be added to our map action. Let me compile it and run it and see if everything works fine. As you can see, until now everything works fine. Now we need to make some changes because we want to create a connection between this tree and the select. That means that the changes which we need to know to do are the following. Here all 3 items should have the select action, and we need to set only the attribute this time. So G menu item set attribute, which means it's the item, the target, the string, which means S, and of course what we need now, we need to create basically to pass the action here which we need. In this case it will be new, and of course the last one will be null to inform that we are done with it. And now I'm going to copy all these things and create the open and select. Now as you can see, we are targeting basically close, basically the new, the open and the close, we are targeting them to the select action. Now let's see file. You see now we have open, now close. You see where the bullet is there, where you click, there goes the bullet. So basically that's the connection which we create. Now we are going to make the things a little bit much more interesting, which means at this point we are going to make 2 signals calls, G signal calls on our select action. Once is the activate and once is the change state. That's very important. So I'm going to say here activate callback and change state callback. Now let us create those two functions, because it is very important for us to understand how exactly they work. So activate callback right here, static void activate callback, and I'm going to copy these things and put them here. And now in the activate callback we are going to say, of course, like in the other video, G action change state, where we need to pass, of course, the simple action and the parameter. Now because we work with them, we remove the cast to void, and of course the simple action should be a G action. Now let me compile it and run it for a second to see if everything's fine. Yes, it says only that's the change state, it is not created, so let us create it. Static void change state callback. The same, I'm going to copy these things. Instead of parameter, I'm going to say state, because here it's about the state. And now let's say GSimple action set not enable state, and of course what we need a simple action and we need the state as well. Okay, somehow it jumped there, but I'm going to move it back. Okay, now let me see, we created the activate callback and the state callback, g print activate, I'm going to say, just to be sure that everything works fine. And another print here will be the change state. Again, was jumping in the wrong place. Now let me format it. At this point we have the activate, which we are calling the action change state, and the change state where the GSimpleAction set state takes place. Now let's see if everything works fine. Activate and change states both works fine. Now let me show you what's the difference, because that's the point of this video. I want to show you what's the main difference between the parameter and the state. Now here I'm going to say g variant action state. It will be pointed to g action get state, g action what's happening, simple action or action wherever. Now because we have the state, we save it here. Basically I'm going to say now g print the selected state is %s, new line, g variant get string, which is the action state, and the same goes for parameter. And here I'm going to say the last state was %s. Now let me compile it and run it. I do have a problem. Let's see, g variant get string on the action. Let me see what's two field arguments, of course, sorry, because we need to provide the length. In this case I'm going to say null, because I don't need to provide the length. Now let me compile it and run it again, and let me watch what happens now when I choose to click on close. At this point the open state, it is selected. Okay, now I'm going to choose the close. It says the selected state is open and the last state was closed, which is wrong. Why? Well, because I kind of made a mistake, because the parameter is basically what you pass, what you select, and the state is the state which, let's see, now we have the open. Let me choose the close and say the selected state is closed and the last state was open. You see, now we select the new, which means the selected state should be new and the last closed. The selected state is new and the last state was closed, and everything works fine. As you can see, this is the way how you work with this. So now if I remove from the activate and from the change state, or if I move everything from here to here, and I get the state. Now if I compile it and run it, the open is selected. Now the selected state is closed and the last was open. You see, everything works fine. Now it's new, and the last was closed. So now basically you do understand for sure where the difference it is between a parameter and between a state, which you get it from an action. This means the state is the actual state which action does have it at the time you select it, and the parameter is the parameter which was passed to this function. In this case was what was before. and that's the reason why you get the last state as open and the new one, or the state as a close. Selected state is close and the last one was the open. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.